And we are streaming. We're streaming.
All right.
There it is. Without any music today. Coming in cold. Coming in cold. Speaking of cold, it is 58 degrees.
Yeah,
do you still wear your watch?
Yeah.
You do now because it's now part of your fitness routine, right?
Yeah, I
Great job.
track it.
Great job. You're a better version of yourself now than you were 2 years ago, and I want to congratulate you. And your hair looks nice. You got it's longer, isn't it? Or is it like you did something different with it? It looks
I
good.
got it cut yesterday.
Yeah, it looks good.
I was out running in the cold, wet this morning.
Do you hate it or do you care? Do you?
I like it because
This is the warm up.
Forced, where I just said, hey, we're going to cross country this morning. So kids get up, we get there, everybody's cold. We're running, and they're running in hoodies. And
That's
so
Rocky Balboa style.
in my mind, I'm like, this is micro toughening them up.
Yeah. I didn't run in a hoodie this morning.
And so
tell them that. Say my fat friend, my midget fat friend with no hips.
No, I announced that on a bullhorn
Hold
to
on,
all the
hold
kids.
on, hold on, I can do that.
Attention, everyone here. Tommy and Max. Tommy and Max, this is your father. My small midget friend who's fat with no hips. He cannot do what you did today. Good job, Daddy.
There you go. That's it. You know what? Best warm-up we've done in a minute. All right. Would you like to begin? We'll plug some stuff, and then I want to play a video for you that's been making me laugh.
Yeah.
I got a couple of little things, unless you got something, buddy. Or we can do some emails.
Yeah. And then I sent you a video of a boat fail.
I'll have to load it.
That's fine. We could do it another time. Because it's not.
Sorry.
It's just,
Good morning, everybody. Who else in here? Ghost, Shredbear, Duncan, Clark, Ricky, Captain Pizza Pants, still a great name. Ghost of Newt Bull. Kupo's in here. What up, buddy? Kendall, Shredbear, Robert, SJ Media, Kendall Hill. PP Sprinkles, EJ. What up, EJ? EJ, I hope you're in a better mood. Okay. You start. In 3, 2.
welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am clearing my nose out. Sorry, allergies are crazy. I am Dan.
And we're going to talk about this later on in the show, but you can get your tickets to the Science Untapped Beer Fest, January 25th.
Yeah, man.
Lock Haven Park. All proceeds go to benefit the Orlando Science Center, and it's a really nice beer fest. And me and Daniel will be out there.
It is. The signage is correct. The area and the field that you are participating in is great. All the breweries that participate and meaderies that participate are great.
Yeah.
And all of the money goes to help out the Science Center. Become a member, osc.org.
Yep, members get a discount for tickets.
What do you know about FAS? And I don't mean the window company.
I have no idea.
Okay. I mentioned this to my wife. She said the window company. It's called foreign accent syndrome. Are you familiar with this? So I said that to my wife, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's what Madonna has." And
yes.
I looked my wife dead in the eyes, and I said, "Madonna ain't got no foreign accent syndrome. She ain't got that. She hit her head, and she speaks British. That's not true.
Well,
that's fake. That's fake news. That is not real. And if she claims that, she's a liar. Fudge ass."
I think.
Remember, I tweeted her on Instagram. I said, "What's up, fudge ass?" And she gave me a heart. She gave me a heart on that, which is still, I don't understand why she did it. It just shows you how tough she is. She's a tough broad.
I have personally seen someone live in Miami long enough to speak with a Spanish Cuban-like accent.
That's code switching. That's what the chat room's saying. Yeah, that's code switching.
But
that's where you alter your dialect and how you deliver your message based on the race, nationality, or type of people you think you're addressing, right?
But that's if you're cognizant or you're doing it on purpose.
You don't think you can subconsciously code switch? You don't think that, like, your brain is – I think your brain is powerful enough to walk into a room that's primarily Spanish people or Latin friends of yours, and you'll instantly go more Latin just because the essence of the energy is Latin.
Not Latin because I'm too familiar with because I grew up in Miami.
Yeah.
I do it with the Asians.
Okay.
Where I tend to do a bow.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad you said that.
And then I'm like, and then I may talk to.
Well,
them.
hold on. We'll pause that for a second because like this foreign accent syndrome, a lot of people get it. So I go down this rabbit hole with my insomnia last night. I'm laying in bed, and I go through this crazy rabbit hole of all these like different people that are affected by this, because at first I'm like laughing, I'm yucking it up, right? I'm like, this is wild. But then you realize that a lot of these people are tortured. They're crying about it and saying like how terrible this is and how horrible of an affliction this is. It's ruined their life because they don't even know who they are anymore. And then I started thinking about it, and then I came across this lady, and I swear to God, out of all of them, this lady got the worst one because there are variations. And I'm going to tell you right now, and you hit the nail on the head. If you get British, that's the best one. That's like snake eyes, dude, or double sixes. But if you get Asian, it's the worst one, and I'll tell you why.
Sarah has spent most of her life in Plymouth and had the accent to match until recently.
So, fish and chips. Chips. I said that right?
Yeah.
3.5 years ago, she was rushed into hospital with a migraine, which left her with a voice she didn't recognise.
I have not actually heard my voice in the conversation for nearly 3 years now.
Her initial response upon hearing how she used to sound from a bank telephone recording
Good afternoon, thank you for calling.
was to long for her old accent to return.
Yeah, I'm not actually ringing about my policy though. I'm ringing for a quote.
That's
Do you
her.
still want my policy number?
I know it's me, but I feel like I want to say, oh, she make a good speak. She speak a good, but like that, not me no more.
That's nuts, right, dude? She got the worst one. She got the worst one. That's the worst one. I'm not trying to be mean. That's the worst one.
Shouldn't be laughing so
Yeah,
hard.
no, I mean, I laughed, but it's the worst one. Because if you're going to get them, if you get British, how does your brain decide which one you get? Or is it just totally random, no free will? This has been like the theme of the week. So I'm just going through watching this video. So just follow me here. I watched the first one I watched was British. Second one I watched was French. It was like a lady that woke up and she's like, oh, hello. And then I get to this lady and I'm like, well, this lady, everybody's going to think you're screwing around. How do you convince people you're not screwing around?
That must be hard because even though they're doing a serious, some sort of news report or documentary about
She
this.
looked at herself, bro, and said, she talk a good.
No, yeah.
People are going to think you're screwing around. People are going to think you're screwing around.
Okay, I had this buddy.
You have to wear a sign on you can never go out. You have to stay inside for the rest of your life.
I had this buddy in high school we used to party with.
Baloney Andy.
And no. And he had
Goth fingernails.
He had bipolar, which we didn't know back then.
Yes.
But we know now, or a version of it, and he, when he drank, he used to flip into this character, like with a British accent.
What was his name?
Edgar.
Was it Mr. Tip Top?
No.
Oh, no, Mr. Tip Top's back. Hello, it's me, Mr. Tip Top, and I hope everything's in tip-top shape, I do.
And it's funny because when you're in high school, you don't know about mental health or whatever. You just think someone's effing around, and you're like, "He's drunk again. He's Edgar.
Knock it off."
and then he used to do it, and like totally, and then play and never get out of character. It's just like, and then we used to be like, "Edgar's here," and then he'd be at the party.
You fed into it.
Well, yeah, everyone was just messing around.
Too. I think I would do that too.
And
here comes Edgar. A lot of people in the chat room are saying, I'll quote one, I feel like if you switch to an accent, not a language, it's got to be fake. So I realize that by bringing this up, it is funny to see this lady do. Like, it's also, if she's not controlling it, this is torture.
So
no wonder these people were crying online that I was watching their videos.
I've seen this has happened a lot of times before, and from what it seems like, and people have done medical professionals.
This is the worst one.
That this is a real thing that happens to people. Now, whether or not someone's faking it, or it's real, or it's some sort of other imbalance.
Because it could be another, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really complicated. That's the thing about the brain. There's millions of neuro firings that all have to come together for a bunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's insanely complicated. I know for a fact that, and I watched that snowboard documentary years ago. I think it's like Shane McConkey or something.
Oh yeah, I watched that.
Anyway,
Well, see, that one's different to me. Like this lady woke up. This lady effectively was just like your random British lady.
But she said she had a migraine. Did she have a brain bleed or something, or like a stroke?
I don't know if she had that. They said it was just she would have multiple migraines a year.
Because some sort of trauma seems like a trauma needs to happen for it to affect this.
You would think that.
But going back to the brain injuries can change your personality. For a fact, like you can hit your head, have a traumatic brain injury, recover. If it's bad enough, like something you have to relearn how to walk and stuff.
Yeah.
And you come out the other side of it with a different personality than you had before.
Yes, I watched that documentary. I remember that.
And that's happened to a lot. And then people, their friends and family, like this person is a different person. It's still the person I love, but it's this person acts different. You have a different personality than they did before. So having a different personality kind of ties into having a different accent. It's just bizarre. And we can't wrap our head around it, and it seems fake.
It does tie in, but what's so weird about this, from what I'm reading and from the videos I watched last night, going down this rabbit hole of what we're talking about is foreign accent syndrome, is that all of these people, their lives don't change other than they just talk like this lady literally has the same British life, except now she sounds like she's making fun of Asian people.
Yeah. Or
that's insane.
She was from an Asian country and she just learned English, and she
looks like Shelley Duvall.
No,
there's no way in a million years you'd look at her and be like, you were born in China.
Yeah.
Ever.
Sometimes there's weird anomalies where people are born somewhere and learn, like
the first time you saw a black person that spoke British.
Yeah. Then you're like,
it
what?
literally blew my father's mind. I think my dad was like, oh my God. What is this?
So now,
does she talk again? Let me see if she talks again. Hold on.
So impediment. There's nothing foreign about it. Obviously.
Oh no, this is one of the other ladies. They interview other ladies too. I guess you can get into a like with anything. You could go and you try to do therapy, and kind of
speech therapy,
and do like speech therapy to try to like regain control of. It's sad. Like there is a huge part of it that's like if it's completely out of your control.
Because you can,
that's wild,
through speech therapy, get rid of an accent, or living in a certain culture for long enough, your accent will disappear. We've seen it with British friends of ours, and then
they go back and it comes right back.
And then it can switch.
It's like muscle memory.
Yeah, but even going back to my buddy that grew up in Miami over 20 years, now he speaks with he's Cuban Spanish accent. He's whiter. He's as white as I am. He doesn't even know Spanish, but he's married to a Cuban lady. He's incorporated into their culture, and over 20 years, like if you met him, you're like, oh, this guy's Cuban for sure. And like he sounds like he's from Miami, Cuban. Like there is a distinct accent you get. Especially like Miami Cuban, it's a thing, right?
I kind of thought I was gonna marry,
and he's not doing it on purpose.
I had not a dream, but I think I thought there's a part of me when I was a single man that I thought I was going to marry a woman of color and learn a culture instead of my old whiteo no culture.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm too old and lazy to get involved with learning another culture.
The ship has sailed. I married a Polish lady. I'm just saying, there was a part when I was a single man, I was like, oh, yeah. Spicy. You got to go spicy. I never did, though. Never did. Dated, but never went that direction.
It's interesting because there's no way to know the truth as far as this lady. Like, she could tell you this, and you could even...
I believe her.
It seems like...
I believe her. I mean, what a ruse. Why would you... God, what a torturous ruse. Like, that'd be literally the worst prank You got me. Hey, good one. Good job. But you made your life terrible.
Yeah, so it seemed like there's no reason behind it. What's the motivation for faking this? So it's got to be real.
Unless you just really love doing the Asian voice. You're like, it's so fun. I love it. Oh, man.
But it's probably caused so many problems that it's, counterintuitive to
Look, if we're really gonna dial this in, I bet you she doesn't talk that much. I bet you it makes you be like, you know what? F it. I'm out. I'm out. I'll text.
Crazy.
I'm done.
So this is I know you sent me a video earlier today of Andrea's grandpa.
Oh yeah, let me pull that up.
With a whip, and he's 101 years old.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy that he can do this. I'm going to load this video up so everybody can see it. Hopefully it works here. I don't even know where she got this. I guess this was yesterday. I guess he's just out in the backyard, like, whipping it up somehow. Like, I don't know what the hell's happening here.
Or he just got a whip out. He's showing his whip skills.
Yeah, but like, why would you do that at 101? I mean, I guess why wouldn't you do that at 101? Really, right? I mean,
if you could do it, you do everything you can still do.
I honestly can't do it. Here, let me put this up.
And so he looked great, by the way.
Yeah, he is in excellent shape. I'm gonna make it so I can hear the. I gotta get it so you can hear the audio here. Sorry that this is taking so long, my friend.
Here's
there he is. Okay, there's him cracking a whip. This is Andrea's grandfather. He is 101 years old. He's dressed in the finest of, as your grandfather would call them, dungarees.
Yeah.
He's got on his flannel, and I guess yesterday, while I was sitting here sedentary with my hips rotting away, he decided that at 101 he would go out into his property and use his bullwhip.
Yeah.
There he goes. And here we get a good one here. Look at him. He moves good. Yeah, wow.
So,
getting it. Straight, get Florida cracker. Real Florida cracker.
We were, joking around about Jim Irsay, the owner of the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I need one of those hover wheelchairs.
And he's on, basically a motorized electric motor wheelchair that kind of looks like a Segway that you, like, kneel on or whatever. And we were speculating his age, and he's only, like, in his late 60s.
Oh, I know.
And
what do you think about me? Like, I feel like I'm 48.
And it just goes to show you, like, now, I don't know if that was a result of hard living or just genetics or whatever, but when you look
it was. I looked it up.
When you
Have you seen his face?
Yeah.
His face is the telltale.
And you're like...
He's got the alcohol drug face.
When there's 40 years difference between that dude who can't walk and Andrew's grandpa. 40, my almost lifetime.
Yeah, he still
I've
drives.
lived, and
he drove over to Christmas with his girlfriend,
and
it's awesome. He's awesome.
This is what human beings, especially rich human beings, like strive to obtain, which is some sort of fountain of youth that you could live to 101 and still be out there whipping it. You know what I'm saying?
You have some of the qualities that he has. A lot of the qualities that I see of people that live a long time, at least from my perspective, I don't really have a lot of those, which is unfortunate. But one of them that I see in you, I see it with my best friend Dave, his dad Emmett, with Andrea's granddad. It's patience. I feel like, and there's a generosity and patience aspect to how all those people, you're like that. There's a calmness there that I almost feel like you need. Those of us that are wound up tight, I feel like we rot our organs or run them like we're rotten. Like I feel rotten inside.
No, you're not rotten inside.
I feel rotten. I mean, I'm rotten inside. You don't know. You don't know. Want me to show you? Want to see inside of me? Like, I'll show you.
I'll
gape it.
It seems like genetics is, a huge part of it, somewhere like 75% of it.
Teeth clenched 24/7. Yeah, that's how I live my life. I'm literally like, I mean, it's like that's not healthy.
Well, there is I never understood the link, and I guess I just Google it. Like people are like stress and like the heart link and stuff like. But if you have that mentality though, but are healthy otherwise, like you eat good, exercise well, and then will just the stress affect you over, if everything else is good? Like, I feel like if everything else is good, the stress is going to have a minimal effect.
Well, I also feel like stress is different for each person. How it affects them. It's almost like having a shellfish allergy, It's like you may be able to handle tons of it, but some people, they can't even handle a lick of it. Not even a little bit. This is where I go on my rant about how kids now are very soft. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. Hey, another thing that I wrote down to talk to you about that I thought you might find interesting is one of the last 3 founding members of one of my mom's favorite bands, the band Chicago.
Okay. I know.
25 or 64. Yeah, everybody knows Chicago. Hard to say I'm sorry. I mean, legendary Rock and Roll Hall of Fame style band, right? One of the 3 surviving members, I think it was the saxophone player, I was reading this morning in an article, and he said that he sees nothing wrong with the concept of the band Chicago just going on forever.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, just new members and just they're using the name.
Well, I mean, he's saying with no original members, he is completely fine.
Yeah.
With the band just continuing, and I don't think so. I don't think that's right.
Well, I guess it all depends.
I think it dies with the last surviving member of the band.
There's been other bands.
Yeah, I looked them all up. I looked up a ton of them
that have attempted to do this. One being Kiss, that I know, like Gene Simmons wanted to.
Well, they're doing the avatars. That's different. That's crazy old men. They're doing avatars.
Yeah.
The bands right now that I know of, that one has Florida roots. You know it.
Leonard Skinner?
Yeah, nailed it. Number 1, Leonard Skinner. After the passing of Gary Rosington in 2023, a couple of years ago, the band no longer includes any founding members. Why would I go see Leonard Skinner with no Leonard Skinner in it?
Well, I guess that's
It's just the essence of Leonard Skinner, right?
It is.
It's an avatar,
name.
yeah.
It's their songs.
The Drifters, same thing. The Temptations, same thing. Little River Band, same thing. The Platters, Quiet Riot, The Four Tops, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. That one hurt. Blood, Sweat, and Tears hurt. I believe that I worked an event. I did something for Real Radio way back in the day with the last surviving member of Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I forget what it was. It was something.
I guess.
Yes. So the Zombies, Journey, Blackfoot, Gwar. Gwar hurts. I didn't know there were no surviving members or original members of Gwar after Dave Brockie left. Or, well, he passed away.
You're right, and they can be right too.
No.
You could say that it isn't technically this band anymore because there's no original members, right?
Because with the influence, the original influence is gone. So all you're doing now is emulating the influence of the original members. Now, if you take the band in a completely different direction, I might give that a nod. But who's going to do that? Like if Journey became like a house band, house music.
Yeah.
Techno.
But technically, if the band purchased or they have the rights to play the original music from the original band, and they're the only ones that legally own the rights, I guess if you look at it like a small business, then that small business is still operating and it still has the original music. And even though there's no original members, it's still they still have the same small business license as the original members.
Okay,
does that make sense? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me ask you a question.
It's not a tribute band.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a question. I think I know the answer.
Yeah.
I think I know your answer to this, and you probably can guess my answer to this. If you were going to a fictional mom and pop pizza place called Tony's Pizza, and Tony was always there serving you up the pizza, and you went in there to get your cheese and pepperoni, you got them every single Friday night, right, for 15 years, and then Tony decides to sell the pizza place to Steve, and now it's still Tony's Pizza, but Steve owns it. Is it tarnished in your mind?
Well,
it is to me, because you're not Tony. You need an Italian name, too. Sorry to be a touch I know that's a controversial statement, but I prefer that you be Italian.
Are they using Tony's recipes?
They
and
are.
Everything's the same?
They are.
If
everything is the same.
Everything's the same, then it's like still Tony's Pizza. Even though Tony's not making it, Steve's making it. It's,
you really know nothing about us emotional people. Do you? You know nothing about us. You monster.
It's just.
I need Crystal in here. Where's my friend?
Yeah, emotionally, I can see this is not the same. But if it's the same ingredients and they do the same, now if they change it, then it's a different thing, right?
Yeah. But here's the thing. Here's the punchline. It does taste different to me. Are the recipes exactly the same? Yes. Yeah. I'm creating the taste difference in my mind because I'm an emotional person.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
I'm biting it, and I'm like, absolutely. I'm like, it wouldn't matter what he did. It's not going to be the same because it isn't the same.
Yeah. I mean, so now what about when you went over to Dunderbox in Daytona? And that
they kept everything the same.
But
that's so impressive.
There's been 5 generations of people that
I don't know how they did it.
And that have worked. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how they did it.
So technically it's the same, but it's so far removed that it's got to be different than it was before. None of the original owners is completely different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Run by, still the same name.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that same thing. Although if there was an original member that left, and I could see, that emotionally it's not.
Chat room's weighing in. Let's see here. SJ says, 17 years at Pop's Burgers in Jacksonville. Then Pop's died, and it was never the same. Yeah, a lot of places kind of it's almost like the person was the restaurant. That happens a lot, and the recipes never mattered. Yeah, that's a weird one. That's the one that'll blow your mind. That happens a lot, I bet, in restaurants where it's like, this restaurant was Gray's, Billy's, sandwiches, little sandwich shop, and he's always there making them, and people love it. And then he dies, and then somebody else tries to continue doing it, and we're just like, it's not the same.
Well, that's the whole idea behind franchising and making a model that other people could follow exactly so that it's all standardized wherever you go, right? So it's like the McDonald's hamburger tastes the same everywhere in the world because they use the same stuff. Except for I've eaten one in Paris. It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go into Europe,
I wouldn't tell people I did that.
I guess me and Crystal got stuck in an elevator with McDonald's and the German or the Parisian fire department. Was that in Germany? I think it was.
I thought it was Germany.
Yeah, the German fire department had to come save us. And big fat American McDonald's.
Let me show you one more thing that I think is really funny. So do you remember years ago we had a listener, Leo, that really wanted one of those Chow Chow dogs?
Yeah, and got scammed.
Yeah, and he got scammed, but he got scammed with the absolute worst Photoshop that he's ever seen in his it's the worst. It was.
Well, we were laughing because of how bad of the Photoshop it was,
and he was just blinded by the love and the want of wanting this Chow Chow dog.
Yeah.
That he was willing to almost actively be a victim in the crime.
He looked past the obvious Photoshop and wanted to believe it so much.
Yeah, there's this lady. This came up on my feed too. There's this lady at the end of 2024. In New Delhi that was scammed by this dude out of 800,000 euros. And he said he was Brad Pitt, and he said he was locked out. He's in the hospital, and he's locked out of all of his bank accounts. Angelina Jolie had locked him out of all of his bank accounts, and he needed money. And so here I'm putting up the Photoshops of these are literally the worst Brad Pitt Photoshops. This is supposed to be him in the top one is like him with there's like a balloon in the background or something, and then there's one of him they're all the funniest one is all the way to the left, and you can see this at twitch.com/TomandDanLive. It's him as the Inglourious Bastards Nazi hunter.
Okay.
Look, he's got the tiny mustache and the slicky hair.
So what was this? How would this trick anybody?
I guess the point of me pulling this was to prove to you that there are still really dumb, lonely people out there that will empty their wallet for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Especially there are both dumb men and women that, I would give the nod more so to men because we're real dumb and real lonely and desperate. If you can find a really dumb man who's rich online,
That's what scammers try to do with, they always start with a pretty girl picture, like, hey,
And I'll tell you, as a slightly dumb man, it does get me. I look at it. It's not like when I get I'll give you this. When I get the scam text message and it's the photo of the Asian girl usually standing on that red bridge. I don't know if you've received that one. I've gotten that picture like 25 times.
Yeah.
But like when I get that photo, I always make it bigger and look at it because I don't know. I have to do it or something. No free will. I have to do it.
Speaking of scams, we changed our business credit card the other day because I noticed that there was a decline charge. And this, by the way, if you're like me, you should every once in a while check your credit cards and just see if there's a charge somewhere in their statement that doesn't, like, you're just.
I've never thought to do that. That's a good thing I'm not in the business department.
Well, this happened to Crystal multiple times where there was a company that it was Amazon but spelled differently. And it was just charging her like random $14 here, $18.
Well, that is how you do it.
And because it just hopefully
that's how I used to steal from Qdoba.
They're hoping that you just blend into the credit card statement because everybody's buying stuff on Amazon. You're like, oh, this must be a charge.
Tiny amounts.
Yeah. And then so this was like this, although the decline charge got me. And then I started looking back and there was a charge for $59.99.
Ooh, that sounds like something. That normally sounds like fitness, porno, nutrition.
And it was some website. There was a nonsense website.
Yeah, we looked it up.
And then every month they've been charging us $59.99 for, could have been years. I have no idea. I didn't go back and look at the 2022 statements, but every month in 2024, and then it went back until like at least November of 2023. And then so I disputed it. They're working on whatever. But because I did that, I just went in there literally 5 minutes ago. I didn't even tell you. And I was like, what? And I saw the credit card balance was jacked up high again. And I was like, this is weird.
Free money.
No. Like we owed $900.
Oh, that's not
And so I was like, what the hell is this?
The scammer's retaliating because you're onto them. So they're like, get him.
10 straight $59.99 charges.
Whoa.
And then $1 charge at the beginning.
The test.
And then the test worked, so they just spammed us 10 times with $59.99. And the card, they canceled it when I did it, but this must have happened the day of. Like,
oh, they were onto you.
I have no idea. But it's like what it seems pretty easy for these people to do this.
Hold on, I've got foreign accent syndrome suddenly. Oh, no, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that.
Anyway, now I got to call them back and then get on the hold and wait, and then, it's a pain in the ass.
There's got to be an easier way to do that, right? You know what I like that a lot of places don't do? Have you seen the ones where you can call and you can, like, it doesn't even ring. It just goes, enter your number. Your wait time is 20 minutes. We will call you back. Have you seen that?
Yes, yeah.
Those are awesome.
Yeah.
Although, or you can decline it. Like if you can't, like if you're like, oh, I was on the way out, I can't wait 20 minutes. You can just say no, I'll call back later.
Yeah.
I like that.
It is useful, but the problem is I want to call them while I'm driving from one place to another, or in small amounts of time I have open. I can't, have them call me back in an hour because I'll be doing something then.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't have that much time to be like, I'm just available in an hour.
Well, you got to be able to drop whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And then handle it. But look, I know I'm setting my ways too.
Well, it's bad for us because we're recording so much.
It's
we
the
can't
worst.
stop recording. And so when we're recording, there's no other business that can be done. I talk to a lot of people that have like a desk job, and it's kind of nowadays it's like people are working on their own schedule, right? So they'll pick and choose when they get their job done, especially if they're working from home or whatever. But they have a large amount of time to get things done besides work.
Yeah, ours is real-time waste. Like, this is real-time waste.
Yeah. So there's no multitasking, getting other things done.
In fact, I try to, and if I do, you can hear it pull me out of the conversation. Like, if I'm over here doing something, oh, something's, like, you'll be like, well, what's he doing? What's he doing over there?
Yeah.
Let's close out with just a couple of emails, because these have a tendency to pile up and I like to update on things that we've been talking about for the last couple weeks or months. This is from our very good friend, Mr. Carl Tully. Thank you for emailing, Tully. He says, "Hey guys, I wasn't sure if you ever got to the bottom of how many times you can take traffic school courses, but I recently got a ticket, and the notice I received from Seminole County says it is 8. Here is a picture for proof. Stay bad at life, Tully." And there it is. We do have, it's right here. There is the proof there.
So
you can see the number 8 times there. It says 8 times.
So that has been increased from
3.
5.
You got 3 extras.
Yeah. So then now we should all have 3 extras if you were like me or Crystal and you went through all your lifetime 5. Which I did make the joke. I was like, we should go through all 3 this year and go back to 0 again for life.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely don't want to die with any available. I like to use them.
Yeah.
So even if I'm like, you know, if I go to the doctor, they're like, it's the butt. And then I'm like, I'm using it today.
Yeah.
Just so.
Will you just go out and drive reckless or something?
No, I'll just go and take it because I'll just take
Oh, just take it whether you need it or not.
Yeah. I don't want to leave this earth.
That's an interesting
I want to
play.
leave with 0.
It's an interesting play to do it with no infraction.
Because you can't pass them along. If I could pass them to my sons, I'll save them.
That's nepotism. I'm not going to let you do that.
I love nepotism.
I'm running for sheriff of Orange County.
Nepotism is my favoritism.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them.
Nepotism, autism.
Yeah.
Skepticism.
I'm an autism guy. It's not skepticism. You know what? You're going to catch a lot of shit for that. I'll have to edit that out.
Next email.
All right, hold on. Let me write down that I cursed. All right. And skepticism. This is from Lewis. He says, Dan, because we know Tom doesn't check his email. Long-time listener since the early days. I also happen to be the guy Kyle got you Magic jerseys through and may have worked for the Preds when they did their millionaire house party at Dice Man's. I drove a slightly inebriated Brett Bushy home in my Honda Civic that night as well. Anyway, riding. What?
This is before Uber. I like the Bushies driving.
You drive me home, you BOS.
Some BDM's Honda Civic. You're driving Bushy home.
All right, let's see here. Anyway, riding because a guy who's got to be related to Tom keeps hitting my TikTok FYP. He does top 10 list of random movie shows that he'd go have a cold one with, ranking each character as they come up. He not only looks like Van, but his username is X Games Guy. X Games Guy. So he's gonna be he's gotta be into jumping Gravedigger and such, while he also maintaining a marble mouth for his videos. People are really mean to you, dude. Check it out and let me know what you think. SFT Lewis. All right, I gotta find this guy. X Games Guy. Let me see if I can find him.
You know, it's weird. I take, like, anytime listener, marble mouth, fool, clown, I 100% take it as they're messing with me
it's
and they're
love.
Friendly, and it's like 2 friends effing with each other. And when I see this, I actually feel like happy that this person listens enough to mess with me.
That is true.
And I take it as he's like, he likes me, he's my friend, and and it makes me feel good. Which is a weird thing to feel good about someone insulting you, but I 100% does.
It's less like an insult and more of like what friends do when you bust balls.
Take it 100% like that.
I can't find this. Anyway, I'll try and find it later. For whatever reason, that guy is not popping up when I search. I don't know why. Do you remember the millionaire house party? Didn't I go to that? Is that the one where they had the little people bartending?
Yeah.
I went to that for a little while.
It's
weird at my height, I'll tell you, at 5'2". It's weird at my height to go to a millionaire like party and have a bunch of people that are just slightly shorter than you bartending, because they kind of look at you like, why aren't you back here? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
so I don't think I stayed there very long.
It's crazy back in the day what ridiculous things that we just did because, you know, I had some stupid, absurd idea that I kind of wanted to ruin everything.
But there were a bunch of...
I didn't do it because I thought it was good. I did it because I thought it was stupid.
It was disruption.
And
yeah.
it was like
It's a disruption.
like I wasn't like, hey, this will be a great marketing idea
But it
for
was
your business. It's
against,
like, hey,
it was against the norm. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of punk rocky.
like I was kind of hoping that this was like a bad thing for everybody. Like
Right.
I didn't care, like that's
What
and it's funny
happened to-
that they went along with it.
What happened to the imitators? Like for Dice Man, and I know we haven't talked about him in a minute, but I know one thing we haven't talked about was there was like maybe 5 to 6 different like Dice Men Juniors that kind of popped up.
Bellagio Dice
You had
Man.
Bellagio Dice Men, but
We
there
were
were
playing
other,
dice at that party.
But there were other Dice Men.
That guy's brother, was Falconer Jones. I brought his
But
both,
there are
both
other,
from.
but there were other guys. Then there was the guy with the razzle jeans and the pointy shoes.
Yes.
He was a high roller for that mortgage company
Yeah,
or the bank. What was the bank that the Predators worked with? Started with a P.
I have no idea. It was some sponsor of theirs.
Yeah,
but
and that guy was always down there with his pointy boots on, marching around on the field like he like owned everything.
There's two types of rich guys. And there's the rich guy that
Oh, you sound like Jerry Jones and Landman.
no,
There's
it's-
two types of rich guys.
that I've witnessed. I'm sure there's more types, and I'm just generalizing. But there's the rich guys that want to flaunt their cash and want everybody around them to know they're rich, right?
Right.
And then there's the rich guys that kind of prefer to not be in the limelight and not have anybody know how rich they are.
And have their housekeeper crap through a hammock.
And usually it's the guys that are really, really wealthy that are kind of want to, not be so flashy. And because I remember,
Oh yeah, when you have less money, you spend more of it. You put it all on your clothing, you put it all in your car.
I remember when Bushy flew us to the Bahamas and we were in the Exumas and we went to some island and like one of his business associates was looking to buy like
Oh, a house. I remember this.
well, no, like 100 yards of a beach
Yeah.
and then develop the project. So he's talking to local Bahamian families because apparently how it works in the Bahamas is like the land and like beach land gets, through generations of family, they own it. And it gets to the point where it's like 30,
Bahamian landman.
but like 30 members of this family all own a portion of this 100 acres of beach,
That's
right?
cool.
So they all have to agree to sell, right?
I'm not
So-
selling it to no round eye.
So it's hard for
I'm not selling.
people to negotiate with when there's so many people because they all have to agree or whatever. But I remember
Land not for sale, man.
we were sitting at this
That's what I would
bar. Well, it depends on if
That's what I would say.
if it's
Not for sale. Good day, man.
if it's enough for.
I said good day, man.
Here's the thing: they're living in poverty, and then now.
Yeah, but I have morals. I'd rather stand on my feet than die on my knees, man.
What do you want to live with $1 million?
I do. I do. You can have
That's
it.
what happened.
You can have it.
But I remember sitting there at the bar.
I've just always wanted to say I said good day.
And I remember Bushy saying, like, hey, who do you think is the richest guy in this place? And I was looking around.
He wanted you to say him.
And, and I was like, I was looking around trying to find some guy in razzle jeans. Like I knew
Yeah.
rich guys acted, right?
Pinnacle Finance. That's what it was.
And
Pinnacle Finance.
he's like that guy over there. And it was a guy that was at the end of the bar that had some like Columbia fishing shirt on and had board shorts and sandals and a like scruffier beard or whatever. And he's like, that guy's worth over $100 million. And I'm like, oh my God. He's like, he's got a yacht over there or whatever. And he's like, that's the guy that wants to fund like 30 million, this, whatever. It's like some insane amount of money. And he just looked like a standard Florida fisherman, like alcoholic,
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Like any guy you'd
anything
see.
flashy. He didn't even have like a super nice Rolex or whatever. And some guys roll like that, like they're insanely rich and they don't have anything flashy. And then on the opposite, some guys have like just I mean, they're a millionaire in assets, and they probably got like $600K liquid maybe, but they spend a lot.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And those are the guys that have the Rolexes, the suits.
I do like
are,
the guys that are loaded. They got like the new Hummer EV. They get out there dripping a cologne and all of that. They don't have a pot to piss in. I love it.
Or
I love
everything's
it. Living in an apartment. I love it.
Yeah.
You live in an apartment, but you drive. Like there's nothing I love more than going through an apartment complex and seeing there's one over here in the Baldwin apartment complex. There is a McLaren in the apartment complex, and I'm like, well, why wouldn't you want to? I guess whatever you value, it's on you. It's your money. I'm just saying, why wouldn't you want to buy a house?
If portraying wealth, it's easy to trick people. That's why Bernie Madoff's happen, and even what the hell Epstein's, like someone that just basically conned their way into being in the millionaire lifestyle through
tons of stories of this,
pretending to be one of the millionaires and being the most charismatic, and and it's like other people easily tricked, like they're like, oh, this guy, he's got the suit, he's got all the stuff, like no one really
limousine riding.
No one's investigating that much. They're just like, oh, face value, like
you don't have time and you got your own problems and you're selfish.
Yeah. And the person's confident, you give them your money.
Yeah, confidence is king.
Yeah.
100%.
All right, we will be right back.
Great job. Was that okay? Just
Just
list a bunch of dumb little things that we can
absolutely
kick around. How about Andrea's granddad, right? Holy smokes. That guy.
101 is a achievement that
absolutely wild.
Honestly, it's more impressive than any even physical feat, because it's something that you can't purchase that. Like
it's a one of one. It's so specifically cool.
We need to get Dr. Powers from My Eternal Vitality in here to start discussing like all the rich people biohacks that they're doing and the new ones, because there's a new shot that slows down aging and shit. Like there's some crazy wild shit out there, because that's what everybody wants. If you have unlimited other resources, the only thing you can't buy is longer life, and now they're starting to buy it. In like a couple hundred years, without any sort of disasters, they speculate that humans could have 140 lifespan, 150. Because you start taking out genetic diseases at birth, so you're limiting that chance of dying. And then with health, with food, medicine, and some of these other hacks, like scientists are like, there's no reason you couldn't live to 140 if you started at birth, and like barring all these diseases and other natural things that could kill you. It's like your human body could do it.
Did you want to do are we finishing it up?
No, we'll be done, because we'll put the meatery third. We'll come back. We'll do a quick weird job for tomorrow, and then just finish 20. Because how long was that Zymerium?
25.
25, yeah. So we'll just do a 15 after that.
Okay.
So,
who's our weird job?
It's at 1? Yeah, it's at 1. It's going to be a phone